today, you can certainly do that. But Gage, Colton, or Brett, have any questions?
I'm just wanting to clarify on the discussions was just the smaller ones that was due yesterday, and then the big one is due this following week, this coming up week, right?
That's very good. Thank you, Brett. And I think that's helpful for everyone. I actually believe today is the 7th, isn't it? So Tuesday the 7th. So actually those discussions are due today. So if you had them all due by today, that's great. But if you wanted to work on them today, you can certainly still have the opportunity to do that.
Okay, that was another question. Then is that on the due dates on there, it's saying some of them are off, because on mine, like if you go to the syllabus, it says July 6th is when those discussions was due.
Okay. Well, then I'm sorry. I apologize. I may have had that a little bit off.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I'll go back and check that, and we'll get that cleaned up. Yes, Gage, you have a question?
Yeah, I was just kind of confused, or not confused, but I was just wondering what material, if any, is available for the quizzes and stuff.
Well, actually, that's a great question, and the way to look at those quizzes, if you use the text, it's extremely straightforward, because the quizzes are fill in the blank. So if you just, I know that this is a little bit backwards when I show something here on Zoom, but if you, I mean, you can just, any page in here pretty much. If you go to, I mean, every page is like this. This is a page 94 in your text. If you can notice there, any term that they have in bold, they'll put over on the side that term with the definition. So on the fill in the blank, I'm writing out the definition, you put in the term. So that's how you match it up. It's fill in the blank. It's not match up, but in a way it is, but it's fill in the blank.
Okay.
That's it. So I think I mentioned it early on in the class, and certainly also through my PowerPoints and my outlines, I rely heavily upon this text. That's like our foundation. So anything that goes on, and if we can have this discussions here, those are great. And I have recorded lectures, and I think those are very useful. But I rely heavily upon the text, and I want everyone to use the text. So if you don't have a physical copy of the textbook, then certainly go to ebook and use that. Go to Red Shelf and use a copy of the text there.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's clear that up. Brett made a good point about the due dates, and I want to make sure that I have that correct. So let's see here. So we are looking at, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone's looking at the home page of Canvas and what we have here for POLS 111340142.
Yes.
Okay, good. So under discussions, discussion 5, yeah, it's due. I'm reading it's due by July 7th at 11:59 p.m. And the last post was July 6th. So maybe did I throw in the post, did I say?
No, sir. If for mine, like I even just checked it just now. If I go to the syllabus, it says group discussions due July 6th.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about.
No, I understand that, and very good. I'm glad you caught that, Brett. I think what when I put the syllabus together, I wasn't thinking about the July 4th holiday. So it would be best if everyone had that due by the 6th, but you can still participate here today by the 7th if you have not participated.
Okay. And then that's another question on the big group project. We just need to have our discussions on the actual assignment page for that, correct? Like that's where the groups need to start having their discussions.
Yeah, that's where I'd like for right here, where you can see group discussion project report. Right. I would like to see people, if you just review the handout and, Brett, in your group, if you want to get the ball started, get the ball rolling there, you can just go ahead and post something on your topic, whatever group you're in, and say, hi, I'm in, maybe you're in the blue group. Let's just say I'm in the blue group and this is our topic and this is how I feel about it. And hopefully you'll have other people that will jump in. I think all three of you probably, and this is always, of course, one of the challenges of a discussion project and discussion topics. And that's why, although it's a significant part of the overall points, I don't make it, the main part of the points. I still rely upon the test and the quizzes and your own writing, because some people will participate in the discussions and some people won't. And so I certainly don't think that it's entirely fair to give everyone, I don't give everyone the same amount of points. So you just go ahead and do your part. And, you would hope that everyone would participate in the discussions, but we know that just does not always turn out to be the case. And in part, that's a fairly good lesson for life. I mean, you could go to a city council meeting and you could have 5 people on the city council and you could have 3 of those people just knocking it out. I mean, they're reading every document that lands on their desk. They really know the subjects. They understand what's important for the city, all those things. In other words, they take their job seriously. And then you have 2 other people that somehow got on the city council and you're wondering how the heck did that happen? And they're not really serious about it. They're not participating. And that's life. Unfortunately, it can be, and that can be democracy actually. So there we have it. It's part of the situation. So really, I just stress that don't get stressed out about it and go, my gosh, I'm the only one in my group that's participating. Don't want that to happen, but if it does happen, move on and just do your part and do the best you can. And you may have been somehow connected to some other people in the group that just, for whatever reason, didn't take it seriously.
Okay. I have one more.
Yeah.
My next question. For the test today that opens up, I believe at 12. That you said that's me a multiple choice one, correct?
Yeah, but it should have opened up by midnight. It should be.
It did? Okay.
Right now.
Okay, I misread it. That's my bad.
Yeah, and that's fine. You got plenty of time. It's going to be after midnight. It should have been available. So
okay.
It's available now, and it will be available until really 11:59 p.m. tonight. So you got plenty of time on it, but certainly remember that's coming up, and we'll just to be real straightforward about it. There you go. Yes, you have quiz 1, which is from chapters 1 through 4, and is Gage, ask about how to get ready for it, fill in the blank, 25 questions, but they're really just the definition, and then you find the right term for that. You fill it in. And then you see here also you have test 1. And I know that there's a duplicate there, but there's only going to be 1 test that will be available for you. So just be aware of that. It's 50 multiple choice questions, and it does come from chapters 1 through 5. So we know that was a little bit offsetting. So, we've been in roughly, we know how fast this moves. So we have 3 midterm tests. We're covering chapters 1 through 15. So through our lectures and PowerPoints and outlines, we're up to chapter 5 and for this first test. And so there'll be 50 questions coming from those first 5 chapters, multiple choice, to get 100 points. And so that's available, as we can see, both of those until 11:59 tonight. Any other question there? So really what I would, and you guys are just 3 of the class. So my guess is by you guys checking in right now, to me is a pretty good indication. I'm going to say things that you probably don't need to hear. And the people who probably do need to hear it, they're not the ones that are they're not checking into the class. But so, you can economize your time. On this day was the only day to take the quiz and the test. So if you had done other material up to this time, that's where you can devote time to study, you refresh your memory, look over your notes, all those things to get ready for quiz 1 and test 1. If you haven't been doing anything, then, your time to do the bonuses, the news reviews, and the discussions, that's going to really add on a lot more material for today. Now, if you don't have anything else going on here today, you can knock it all out today. There's no doubt about it. But I think it would be best, and certainly in the weeks to come, because we are adding on some other material. Brett has pointed out about the discussion project coming up. So that's just next week. It's this coming Monday. So that's when the report is due. So you really need to think about how you manage everything else into that. And of course, also, I just posted the next 4 discussion topics. That's 5 through 8. So my guess is you're not going to think about any of those right now, and I understand. But, if every day is a week, then that means tomorrow you need to really start turning your attention to chapters 5 through 8. So, but again, you 3 probably don't really need to hear that. You're already aware. You've already been operating with that mindset every day is a week. And as long as you keep making that approach, you're going to be fine. And so that's really the important way to do that. Okay. Hopefully the discussions, what I always find interesting about the discussions is that you do get an, if everyone participates, and we can see here when we're looking at topics 1 through 4, we're seeing, roughly, we've got 13 people in the class, so we're 1/3 of the people so far have participated. It's not a real great number, but in some ways not too surprising. But if you get more people to participate, one of the things that I always find very beneficial about the discussions is that you just find reasonable people that can just come to a different conclusion about a topic than what you may believe or what other people may believe. And I think that always becomes a very important process to be able to learn from other people, that other people's reactions to certain issues are just going to be different. This happened probably well over 10 years ago in my class, and it's still just seared in my mind. It's always one of the great benefits of having face-to-face interaction. So I was in a class and had, and this is very appropriate for what we're seeing going on right now, but this was, like I said, several years ago. And the discussion came up about the Confederate flag, which, if you want to get real technical about it, maybe some of you are Civil War buffs, and the flag that we see a lot of times is not actually the flag of the Confederate States. It's the flag of the Army of Northern Virginia that we see, but I digress on that. Anyway, that's the flag that most people associate with the Confederacy. And some people were talking about, well, it's not that big of a deal, what have you. And of course, I know that still to this day, to many people, it's not that big of a deal. People have different viewpoints and different experiences. But there was a black student in the class. He was a football player. And he just said, when he sees the flag, it looks like the swastika to him. And I thought that was a very powerful statement, and that you had just a different reaction from someone else. And there were other people in the class that had just assumed that it wasn't that big of a deal to other people and could never really think that it might really be a big deal to somebody. So when the discussion topics work the way they're supposed to, those are the experiences that you're going to get. And hopefully we'll have some experiences like that here in the class. Anything there that any of you want to add? Any other questions or observations that you may have about, or let me ask you this. I'm just going into you three here, but are you three taking other classes or just this class for the summer?
I'm just taking this one.
Just taking government, okay.
I have one other class.
Okay,
Yeah.
is it a month-long class?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Cole?
I have World of Business.
Okay, all right. So how about you, Gage?
I'm taking Native American history.
Okay, and is that a month-long class too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, yeah, certainly I would say 2 month-long classes really should get to a point where you need to really think about what other activities you're doing during this month, you know, no doubt about it. So, hopefully you're able to find ways to be able to manage all that out. So, I mean, to work a full schedule while you're taking 2 classes, I really would wonder about the ability to get all that done. And that may mean that you need to work with other people in your family or your friends and say, you know, this is time where in the past I may have had time to go do some other things, but right now I don't, you know, not for the next few weeks. And this, again, we're just starting our 2nd week. So where we are right now would be roughly halfway through the semester by the end of this week. So we can see how fast it's moving. Well, okay. Yes.
I just in the syllabus. Do we not have another test or quiz for a little while, or is it just am I just missing it somewhere?
Our plan should be, and really we're going to get to a point where we're starting to, I'm just turning my attention to my physical calendar that I have here. Everyone should have test 2 on July, and when I say everyone, this is also including then my my full semester, regular semester. I think we're moving into. Well, let me backtrack on that. So test 2 will be on the 13th, and then test 3 will be on the 20th. So should be moving pretty fast, yeah. And you don't see that on the syllabus?
No, sir. I might be overlooking it, but I don't think I am.
Let's see.
It says Monday, July 13th. It just has the discussions, and then the news review, and then the group discussion. That's all shown on my deal.
Yeah, here we are on page 3 of your syllabus that Yeah, test 2 is coming up. I don't have it posted yet, so maybe that's why you don't really see that. But we'll see on the 13th, we have test 2, and then test 3 on the 20th. So a real quick turnaround. But by test 3, that's pretty much it. And then, I say that, of course, you still have the final exam, which is on the 23rd, which is the last day that we meet. And so we'll have some time to discuss how to prepare for that. That's going to be essay, not necessarily short answer, but you do have those questions in advance, and you will have 3 of the 15 questions that are available. That actually there'll be more than 15, but there'll be. Well, let me backtrack on that. I'm sorry, I get my classes confused here. So the final exam, you'll have 4 questions, essay questions, and they'll come from topics of those 15 chapters. And so those essay questions are now available for you to kind of study and think about. And so this will be done online, and it will be a 2-hour time limit. And it will be available from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you might want to think about how you prepare for that. If it's available from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and this is really just for the testing purposes, the grading purposes, you may want to say, I'm not going to start until, I can't wait any later until noon to take the test, right? Because if it's going to be a 2-hour time period and it's going to be available until 2 p.m., I probably need to make sure that I have some time prepared for that. So, yeah, I'll have more material posted, and that will make more sense, but you can always come back here to look at roughly, what's due. And so we can see here the news reviews by today, July 7th. And then our exam today, and then our quiz today. And then we can see next week, the 13th, for that case. So, and we'll have a different time we have 3 exams and we have 4 quizzes. And we can see also there's some different times there. So quiz 4 will be on July 22nd on Wednesday. But really, again, for our purposes right now, what we really ought to devote our time to is, if we have not done the discussions and the news reviews, do those, and then certainly get ready for our quiz 1 and test 1. Okay, any other questions? All right, very good. Well, if you don't have, and again, for you 3 being here, I know that you're really focusing in on how to get ready for the class, and I appreciate that. But if you just need to be maybe reminded, or maybe someone in the class and say, look, if you haven't started to participate, this is going to be a pretty busy day. There's going to be quite a bit of material that you need to do. So if you've already done the news reviews and the discussions, way to go. That's a good way to be. Now you can really focus on that quiz and the test. But make sure that you focus on those areas and do a good job on that. And those will be available until 11:59 tonight. And we also do have some bonuses, so you ought to try to work on those as well. All right, if there are not any other questions, we'll close there and open it up tomorrow to see where you are and how things are going. And we'll start to have some grades posted there as well. So if you'd like to participate tomorrow, we'll be back here at that time. In the meantime, take care and study hard and do the projects you need to do.
Have a good one. See you.
Okay, take care.
Have a good one.
All right, thank you. See you, Colton. All right. All right. See you, Gage.